Very unusual experience last night that demonstrates anything and everything in this world can be an occasion for an encounter, a marriage of heaven and earth. Cheesesteak flavored Pringles.
Jason cracked it open and it was like Pandora's box, like pure evil came out.
The mystic cheese nun.
Cheese reconnects us with a very earthy side of life and about decay and decomposition.
You could call it death. To me, it's a taste of that, but a promise of something delicious. That it's a promise of life beyond death.
The Erotics of Disgust. Rocky's been showing up in my spiritual life, in my prayer, as an image, a picture of the interior battles that I have to fight. Then I discovered the inspiration for the Rocky music watching this.
Because I don't care about cut me, Mick, and blood. I care about the nobility of the sacrifice of the Mass. It feels to me like a death and rebirth.
Jesus is in the cheese. Yeah. He's in your cheese. He's in your cheese. He's in my cheese. He's in my love of Rocky.
If you can see the world this way, the potential of your joy skyrockets.
Very unusual experience last night
Please share.
that demonstrates anything and everything in this world can be an occasion for an encounter, an experience,
It'll be fun, Mike.
Yeah.
a marriage of heaven and earth.
Okay.
Even something as odd and unusual as our encounter last night, three of us
Yeah. We were hanging out.
hanging out.
Don't say
Because we don't get enough
Roma.
hanging out. We got to hang out there too.
it's extracurricular hanging out.
That's right.
Don't talk about it.
I'm going to talk about it. There's so many angles here. Cheesesteak
Oh, yes.
flavored Pringles.
They're delicious.
Our friend Bill had acquired a can from the bargain.
Not me, Bill Howard.
Yeah, Bill Howard, from the bargain section of the grocery store on super sale because, not surprisingly,
First off, red flag on that.
yeah, red flag on
Right.
it.
Don't go into that.
But
section.
explain what happened
There were
when
abundance.
you
All right.
when you opened the can.
Well, we looked at the can of Pringles. It said, maybe it even said Philly cheese.
Philly cheesesteak
Philly
flavored.
cheesesteak flavor. I'm like, dang, that's localized. That's a specific. How do you
A lot of
insert
questions.
a large, delicious, real thing onto a
Pringle.
Pringle? So we all got a little dubious. Somebody cracked it open. Jason cracked it open, and it was like Pandora's box, like pure evil came out. It smelled disgusting.
It was really foul.
It was like a punch in your nose smell.
Yeah.
And we were all like instantly, that is the most disgusting
Yeah, why
thing.
would anyone do this to a perfectly good
It
Pringle?
just didn't smell like a cheesesteak.
It did not smell like a cheesesteak.
Not remotely.
But what fascinated me is everyone who took a whiff
Whiffed again.
didn't just take one whiff.
No.
We had to whiff it again. I think we
Multiple
all
whiffs.
took like 3 or 4.
Multiple whiffs.
Like, is that, you're like, well,
It can't be.
okay. And we had to test it again. And it reminded me that strange phenomenon of it's a foul smell, but
You tried.
yeah. No, it's a foul smell, and I want to smell it again. Why do I want to smell it again? It reminded me of this video. Juan,
That's a nice. That's a nice setup.
You were
Yes.
locked and loaded.
Look at that.
I was
guy's
locked and
smooth.
loaded.
Raising the bar. I can't do that.
Can we smell
I call
this
this woman, I call her the mystic cheese nun.
Sounds like a band.
Cheese.
The mystic
Mystic
cheese
It's like a
nun.
We have
1995.
to spend a lot of time observing, smelling, and I smell, by the way. You just have to smell everything. If you have smelled a strong cheese, especially cheese that has brevibacteria, you might think it's dirty socks, it's the earth. You don't really want to talk about what cheese reminds you of, because it reminds you of these earthy places, even in our own bodies.
The bacteria that makes a stinky cheese stinky is in the same family as the bacteria that is between your toes or in your armpits. It's B.
Stay with
linens,
it.
Brevibacteria linens. So when people talk about You know, the French describe they love stinky cheeses, and they say that it has the smell of pied de Dieu, you know, the feet of God, which is a weird way to compliment something, you know. It smells like foot odor, but foot odor of a really exalted kind. That's what they're saying. It's not an accident. Some people love the smell of bee linens. Others find it offensive. And still others are repelled and attracted to it at the same time.
What do we do?
Captivated by what might be called the erotics of disgust.
The erotics of disgust.
Disgust is one of the primary human emotions, an instinctive reaction to something that offends our sense of taste and could be dangerous. Cheese reconnects us with a very earthy side of life and about decay and decomposition.
It's this sense that we're eating decomposition, breakdown products. You could call it death. To me, it's a taste of that, but a promise of something delicious. So I think it's almost a subconscious way of being prepared for death and facing our own mortality. And for me, that analogy of really a death, a decomposition, creating this wonderful flavor, it's a promise of something better. I experience that over and over again when I look at cheese, when I smell cheese, and when then I look at the microbial ecology of cheese. That's the wonder for me, that it's a promise of life beyond death.
Is she like a cheese maker?
Yeah, she makes cheese. That's what she does as a nun.
Mystic cheese.
Her convent or her monastery.
Like Trappists make jelly, they make cheese.
They make cheese. And this is from a documentary called Cooked.
I remember that
by Michael Pollock.
I remember that.
And I watched that, I don't know, 6-7 years ago for the first time. I remember where we were in Canada doing an event, and our host told us about this documentary.
Bruno?
No. It was
Calgary?
It was Calgary, near some Olympic.
Yeah, Calgary.
And isn't it earth, water,
yes,
fire?
exactly. He goes through the four. He goes through the four elements. He goes through the four
elements. He
goes to the four elements: fire, water, earth, air. Right. So this was the
like
Earth.
An Avatar.
This was the Earth episode, and the idea of, well, she says it. I don't know that I could say it any better.
Yeah.
There's a dying that happens, a decay that allows cheese to be cheese, and you get that earthy, foul, what Michael Pollock describes as the erotics of disgust. But then there's something delicious on the other side. And as weird as it is, those Pringles, we all did try one.
We did eat them.
And they tasted a heck of a lot better than they smelled.
I ate more than one chip.
Yeah.
I smelled it more than one time. We did.
We kept on going. It became a snack.
Yeah.
Wow, this just keeps getting worse. I think we're going to lose our viewers.
Or come and see. Come and smell.
When the first time I smelled it, it was gross, but there was also a question in my mind.
Yes.
And that's a pepper. There's a pepper in there.
Oh, yeah, you did say that. Yeah, you got a pepper.
But not the kind of pepper I'm familiar with. So what kind of pepper is that? So I had to go back. But I would say, like, once I tried the chip, I realized that the chip is quite complex. And that all that complexity was almost like in the tube.
Yeah.
Just waiting to be the bouquet to open up. And it couldn't, because it was just stuff.
We came up with some interesting names for this can of chips. Like it was the burp. The burp chips. The burp. It was like smelled like a bad burp. And
it was.
And yet this I want to hear your take on that expression, the erotics of disgust. What do you make of that?
Well, yeah, right now asking me, my first thought is just any phenomenological experience is an engagement with our embodied self. It's real. Therefore, there's something erotic, meaning eros being that attraction to what's true, good, and beautiful, that inner power, that it just awakens it. Wow, it's a cold slap of the real, even if it's, wonderful, nasty, prickly, smooth, whatever it is. We're like, whoa. And if you're really attentive to it, and this is an art for that.
Yeah.
And people love, all manner of stuff. It's like, it's the invitation in.
Yeah.
So it's good.
I like that cold smack with reality.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. There's the abomination.
The abomination in a can.
No, it's okay.
It's, again, we said last night, if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger.
$2.89. That's what death costs.
Oh, it's the Paschal mystery in a cylinder.
Well, that's what I'm getting at here. That this nun. I mean, how many people are thinking about the death and resurrection of Jesus when they eat cheese or make cheese? Not too many people. But her ability to see beyond what's just in front of her eyes, and from a posture of faith, recognize everything in creation is telling the story of the Paschal mystery.
It's imprinted in everything.
It's imprinted in everything. And when you have eyes to see it, you just start seeing the whole world differently, even your experience of smelling a nasty flavor of Pringles.
Yeah.
Like there becomes an awareness that there's, as silly as it sounds, you open a thing of Pringles,
And if your senses, your deeper senses, are attuned, everything can become a pilgrimage from what is seen or heard or felt tangibly, visibly, audibly into another dimension. And it reminds me of one of my favorite quotes from
Benedict XVI. He says, the senses are not to be discarded in the Christian life.
They're to be expanded to their widest capacity. And when we have a suspicion towards the physical world, when we have a suspicion towards our own bodies, when we have a suspicion towards sensual experiences or the pleasures of the senses or the disgust of the senses, when we have a suspicion towards that or a rejection of it or a negation of it, we are not expanding our senses to the widest capacity in order to pass from the physical senses to the spiritual senses.
Yep.
We are rather negating our senses, shutting them down, and in shutting down our natural senses, we also are shutting down the opportunity to experience the spiritual senses. So if our bodies are theological, which they are, then there's always a spiritual counterpoint to a physical reality. We have physical sense of sight. We also have a spiritual sense of sight. We have physical hearing. We have spiritual hearing. We have physical smell. We have spiritual sense of smell. We are tactile. We touch and we feel physically, but we can also start to feel and sense things of the spirit. And that touch point of the spiritual and the physical, to get there and live there, you have to go through multiple purifications of the senses, because I think one of the reasons we're suspicious towards our senses, or can be, is because at a kind of merely animal level, if we're indulging sensual pleasures, we get this pleasure, we relish it at some level, but then it disappoints. There's a shame connected with it because we know we've stooped to the level of mere animals, and we know we're not mere animals. We aspire towards something greater, but we've stooped low and we've reduced ourselves to mere sensual pleasures. And then we can think, oh, I didn't like that feeling. And I blame the senses. I blame the physical. I start to be suspicious about the deliciousness of food or the delight of a good beer or any sensual pleasure. I see it with suspicion rather than, Lord, purify my sensual experiences and expand my senses. Don't negate them. Don't strangle them. Don't repress them. Don't crush them. Expand them to their widest capacity so that I can pass over into the mystical dimension.
It's the way of the mystics.
Yes, and she's a mystic. This cheese nun is a mystic.
You're talking more like a puritanical kind of encounter.
Yes, I'm talking.
Then there's the indulge. Then there's the
Right, there's the fear, but I think they're related. The indulgent, libidonistic, just go for it, indulge in the senses, is related to the puritanical repression of the senses. Because when I go in that direction of indulge, gorge, I rightly feel something is really off. Something is off here that it causes me shame. It causes me pain. I'm not living my full humanity.
Yeah, the unrest.
There's an unrest.
I got two saints in my head right now who are in the camps, I think.
But can I just finish that one thought? The unrest in indulging and gorging in the sensual pleasures alone becomes a resentment of the pleasure I took, and I can end up rejecting the physical world and the senses themselves rather than seeking their purification.
Which you can also flip to the one who over-spiritualizes.
Correct. Yeah. Well, that's exactly why we go from one to the other.
Or reject the life in
it. John Paul II calls that approach where we blame the physical, which the name of the heresy is Manichaeism.
Right.
And he says this approach to the physical world may be, in fact, may always be, a loophole to avoid the requirements of the gospel. Yeah. Press into that.
Well, I got St. Francis of Assisi before conversion, living in the opulence of, his wealthy family. He's the party boy, right? But eventually he's saturated by it all and feels the gospel call. He's stripped of it. And it's the encounter with the leper, right?
Yes.
The encounter with the leper is the erotics of disgust.
Right.
It properly oriented, right? Wait. And I think there's an initial rejection, disgust.
Yeah.
But then he catches the fragrance of the broken Christ.
Yes.
And embraces this leper, and really encounters Christ. So then he has the ability through like that ascent, not like descent, but ascent through the erotics of disgust, that in this broken world he still comes. Then he goes up, and it's Lady Poverty now, and he loves her. And the flip side was Mother Teresa of Calcutta, who was in a teaching order of nuns and teaching, sort of wealthy girls at the school. So I'm not saying I don't know the interior climate of her heart, but she was certainly removed in a kind of an affluent society, teaching these girls theology or whatever. And then on that train ride, Mother Teresa's, looking and seeing the broken and disgusting and poor. Yeah. And same thing, erotics of disgust. And then she finds Christ in the broken, sick in the gutters.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, there's the pressing into the Paschal mystery where
and you have to press in.
Yes. And this is the rejection of the physical realm being a loophole for avoiding the requirements of the gospel. Well, what are the requirements of the gospel? The requirements of the gospel are the purification of this world,
and redemption,
and the redemption of it. It's always, Christianity is always redemption of the body, of sexuality, of the physical world, not redemption from the body, from sexuality, from the physical.
Certainly in my first awakenings to the faith was on the other side of over spiritualizing and moving away from.
Yeah.
And Rebecca, this will be years into the conversion, when I met Rebecca,
your wife?
My wife Rebecca, at the soup kitchen, she was a Franciscan, and she was serving for 2 years in the gutters of Kensington, serving prostitutes, drug addicts, poor families, poor people, and that was I hadn't had experiences like that. I was detached from all. I just pray for the homeless, pray for the poor, so removed. But man, meeting Rebecca, it was smells and bells, used condoms on the sidewalk outside of where the missionaries stayed, hypodermic needles, broken glass, beer bottles. and the smells, the encounters with the homeless, like right there. And Rebecca just was drawn in to that world and right into the marginalized and just always touching, embracing. How you doing?
You can't fake that.
Oh my gosh, she's so real. And I keep thinking, I'll just in the tears because she got me out of myself for the first time. And I would have been almost 30, working for the church for years, doing mission education. And yeah, it just was so real, so raw. She saw Christ. And then she gave me eyes to be able to linger and tarry there and see Christ. And it was just awesome. And it still is awesome.
We live in a world so ruptured from the meaning of our bodies, we no longer know what a man is or what a woman is. For such a time as this have we been given St. John Paul II's Theology of the Body. Here at the Theology of the Body Institute, we are reaching lives and transforming relationships around the world. We're raising up a new generation also of teachers to bring this vision, to bring this legacy of John Paul II to others. For all the students we're reaching with our courses, there are many more we are unable to reach for lack of scholarship funds. The St. John Paul II Legacy Foundation was launched in 2024 with the goal in 2025 of raising 900 scholarships. Reach the 500 mark, and aware that most nonprofits receive 50% of their funding in the final weeks of the calendar year, we believe with your help we can still reach the 900 mark target. If you believe in what we're doing, if you've been blessed by what we're doing, will you help us to help others, to fund scholarships so people can come to the courses at the Theology of the Body Institute? Check out the link below, and thank you for believing in our mission.
Hey, feel free to skip this ad if you want, but I just wanted to let you know that besides this podcast, we also independently have events that we do around the world. If you're interested in knowing how you can come out and see us and be part of what we're doing, the details are down below. Check it out, and we hope to see you out on the road soon. I'm having my head is popping in, and this is kind of the same conversation, but from a different side of water or something, or a different part of the land, is Rocky. Is the need, like, because one could look at Rocky and say, it's just, or fighting, for example, or sport for that matter, is the physical wearing and tearing and breakdown of the person necessary? If it's not necessary, then why through it? And it's because of breaking yourself down to be risen. And I'm thinking of that video from
Bill Conti. Talking about it.
Juan, I'm going to send this to you.
I was just going to say, can you bring it up?
I was thinking of it too.
That's perfect.
Because
It is perfect. It is perfect.
Keep going, Mike.
Well, it's what I took away from sports when I played sports. Like when I was years later, like during COVID, I had COVID very bad. I was in the hospital.
You almost died, dude.
Yeah,
It's not just I had COVID very bad. You were knocking on death's door.
Yep.
Yeah, I was in the hospital for a month in the ICU, and I was given all I could do at this point. Like they gave me 5 days of remdesivir, and then after that, they didn't have any solution. We're gonna give you vitamin C, D, and zinc. I'm like, wait, that's it? Like, yeah, we're done with the IV injection. I said, well, what happens next? We kind of just watch, and I felt kind of like I was in a boat, and the medical community's like, like, good luck. And they gave me these breathing tools that, I can't remember the name, but you blow into one, you inhale the one with one. And I said, how often do I do this? They're like, as much as possible. I'm like, no. I need, give me something to hold on to. And they're like, just do it whenever you have free time. I'm like, well, if I did it every hour, would that be good? They're like, that'd be great. I'm like, so give me a piece of paper and a pencil. And I set my phone, and I set it for every hour. My phone would have it on a duck. Quack, quack. And I would take the piece of paper and I would do the reps of these exercises. For whatever reason, I wanted to write down how well I did for each one. I wanted to write down how long it took, like, you know, I wrote down all the details. And it would take me about 15 minutes to get through it, so that when I was done doing the exercises, I had 45 minutes of break.
Yeah.
And I did this for weeks in the hospital. And I remember...
It's why you're alive.
It's why I'm alive.
Yep.
And that's what the nurse said. She's like, I'm so impressed with your... The nurse said, the reason why you're getting out is because of that work that you did. And I attribute that 100% to my experience of playing football, of playing sports, where, you know, obviously I wasn't the biggest guy, but I played. I was a starter. And, you know, you gotta get kicked. The only way to learn how to stand up is by getting kicked in the teeth.
You know what Rocky line I'm thinking of?
What?
It's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
That's right. That's right. And there's beyond that break.
That's how winning is done. Sorry.
But that's the beauty and the joy and the promise after the decomposition and the breakdown.
Yes.
And we have to. Some people are called to go in a boxing ring. You know, some people want to see if they can do a marathon. Some people want to try to learn a different language. I don't know.
No comprende.
But this also is exactly the point, that in everything, if you have eyes to see it, you will discover the Paschal mystery. And this is a little window into this video we're going to show.
I love this.
Let me set this up. I often say to my students, when I'm inviting them to reflect on the movies that have blessed them, the characters that they love, and the stories they grew up with, what were the posters they hung on their wall?
Yeah.
You know, this is just windows into our hearts. Well, I had Rocky posters on my wall. I watched Rocky so many times. One of my favorite memories of being a boy was when my dad and my older brother and I went to see Rocky II in the movie theater. It was 1979. Rocky I had come out in 76. I didn't see Rocky in the theaters. I saw it when it came on TV in 1978. And the music just got in my bones.
Yeah.
And when my brother and my dad and I went to see Rocky II, we were all just, the three of us, blubbering idiots at the end, just in tears. We felt all of it. The victory of Rocky and what he had to endure, and the whole, yo, Adrian, I did it. At the end of Rocky II, that story of pressing into difficulty, and not just into it, but through it to come out into victory, which is the Paschal mystery. I wouldn't have had that language to understand that.
Sure.
But the allegory of the fight and being in the ring and the blood and what you have to endure in this life, and that there is victory if you fight the good fight. You can apply that. You know, this is how Paul talks in his letter.
Yeah.
He uses these sports analogies for the Christian life. He even talks about boxing, and he talks about racing as part of the Christian experience, as an allegory for it. Anyway, on the 40th anniversary of Rocky, which was in 2016, my mom buys me the 40th anniversary edition DVD that has all these special features on it, like 12 hours of special features or something. And I watched it with great interest, all these interviews, and they're interviewing Bill Conti, who did the music. And I hear him say this, and I'm utterly...
So you've already had this experience with
this
the movie.
Rocky's in my blood.
This is for years.
Yeah, and the music is in my blood. And Rocky's been showing up in my spiritual life, in my prayer, as an image, a picture of the interior battles that I have to fight. And then I discovered the inspiration for the Rocky music watching this in 2016.
This is going to be a tough one. Now when they go into final rounds, then you hear bong, bong, da-da-da-da-da-dun-dun-dun. All of a sudden, a little fugue is beginning, but the strings are always elegant. They are noble. They are da-da-da-da-da-da. They're playing a fugue. All this is going on at the same time while guys are getting bloody and cut me, Mick. What is that? Because I don't care about cut me, Mick, and blood. I care about the nobility of the sacrifice of the Mass. How could you? No, see, it's none of your business what I'm thinking about when I'm writing music. I write music because it has an impact on me. It feels to me like a death and a rebirth. It seems to me like a renaissance, like a mass, like a sacred thing that he's going through at that moment. And if you got it, if you got something special out of that, then it works.
Bill Conti, it worked. It worked, brother. It worked.
I heard one.
Had you never seen that before? I never showed that to you.
I had heard you talking about it. I never seen it with my own eyes. Wow.
What I love is when we were before we got to Rocky, you were talking about the individual that is in the dirt and is disgusted, so they go away.
Yep.
But I was like, well, but some people, they just dwell in the dirt.
Yep.
And some people...
And there's no pass through.
And there's no pass through.
Yeah, it's like wallowing in the mud. We're not talking about wallowing in the mud.
It reminds me of Rocky 1, where what does Mick see in Rocky? He sees the potential.
Yeah.
And what angers him?
You had the chance to be a good fighter, but you sold out to a loan shark, a lousy loan shark. It's a living. It's a waste of life.
And he's so many people are complacent in that place, but aren't willing to go that distance. It's like, yeah, but I like the dirt, or I like it's a living.
Yeah,
I like the living.
Yeah.
But there's so much more gold at the end.
You know, it's always the turning point
of this Pascal.
Remember when we chatted about the life of Chuck? It's a living businessman guy walking along until the moment of grace. I want more, and so he puts down the briefcase and then to the dance. That's the moment.
Yeah, and it's in that the what keeps us from entering into that, from the difference between wallowing in the mud and having the mud be a Passover, is, are we willing to overcome the sin of sloth?
Mm-hmm.
Because sloth, as Thomas Aquinas speaks of it, is the sadness we feel that the good is difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? Being a loan shark for Rocky Balboa is easier than facing what he needs to face to become the fighter he's called to fight, called to become. And do you remember when, through the twist of fate, and Apollo Creed loses the fighter who was going to fight him, can't fight him, and they have to find somebody to fight him last minute.
Mm-hmm.
And he chooses Rocky Balboa to fight him, and he goes to meet Juergens, the manager. And when Juergens presents to Rocky Balboa, are you willing to enter the ring with Apollo Creed? This is a chance of a lifetime. You remember what Rocky's response was? Do you remember?
No.
Rocky says, no. No, I mean, he's the champ. No, I'm just a two-bit nobody. No.
Yeah.
And then the camera zooms in on Rocky, and he's facing exactly what I'm saying. Yep. Am I willing to overcome my sloth?
Yeah.
Am I willing to step out being the two-bit loan shark guy and walk into my potential?
You got to get your tube socks on. You got to go on that beach, and you got to just sprint as fast as you
That's
can.
Rocky.
Punch some meat.
You just jumped ahead two movies.
I wanted to say tube socks.
Punch and meat, Mick.
You got to go outside in the snow and lift cinder blocks.
That's Rocky 4.
Dang it.
Can I bring some scripture into this to break it up? A couple of weeks ago, I was getting nailed by John 12:24. Unless the grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains alone. If it dies, falls into the earth, it brings forth a rich harvest. That's everything we're talking about.
Yes.
Go, you got to let go in, but don't just wallow, right? Right down to the abyss, and then you'll be taken up. If you don't do that, you remain alone in your little cubicle, your little hermetically sealed. Don't yell it. Hermetically sealed little spot, and you'll have a mediocre existence.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and this is Rocky's the arc of his entire story is and this was the key scene in Rocky 1, and they had such a low budget to film this movie. They wanted to cut the scene. The director wanted to cut the scene, and Rocky said, "You can't. There's no story if you cut the scene."
His name's Sylvester. It's not really Rocky. I mean that's.
Let me be.
What scene?
Okay, it's the scene, and what they agreed on was, all right, you get one take. We don't have the money for more than one take. You get one take, and it's the scene when Rocky, Sylvester Stallone, Rocky comes back from he walks out one night and he goes. It's like the night before the fight, and he goes into the arena and he's standing in the ring and he sees Juergens, and he comes back and crawls into bed with Adrian and he says, "I can't beat him, but if I can just go the distance, if I can be standing on my 2 feet when I hear the final bell ring, I will know that I'm not just a bum from the neighborhood." And it's that the arc of the story is the message being in this neighborhood, being a loan shark, the sloth that I've given into just to make a living, is not corresponding to my full potential as a human being. I'm looking at what I'm up against. I can't beat him, but if I'm standing on my own 2 feet when I hear that bell ring, nobody's gone the distance with the champ before. If I'm standing on my own feet when I hear that bell ring, I'll know I'm not just a bum from the neighborhood. Stallone said, "We can't take that scene out, or there's no story."
Yeah.
And the number of allegories you can draw from a movie like that for the interior journey. And when I had already, as I was saying, I'd already been drawing so much of my interior life. Like, I remember when I started spiritual direction with this priest that I've been seeing for over 2 decades now. He asked me, "What's your prayer life like? What are some issues or distractions?" And I said, "Well, I'll tell you, the biggest distraction I have is I go to pray, and I'm trying to listen to the Lord, and I'm hearing a song in my head, or a scene from a Rocky movie, or Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader show up doing their lightsaber battle." And he says, "You think that's a distraction?" And I said, "What? I'm trying to listen to the Lord. What do you?" "Yeah, He says, "Well, are those movies important to you, or is that music important to you?"
Praise God.
Yeah. And I said, "Well, yeah, it's the stuff I grew up." He said, "You don't think the Lord knows the language of your heart? He's going to show up to you in the language of your heart." Well, I had such a hyper pious notion of God,
just like
that why would God stoop to the level of Rocky Balboa?
You were a Gnostic.
I was, and you know what? So is 98%.
Because he stooped to the level of human beings.
Exactly.
Yes.
I didn't understand what the incarnation meant.
Oh my gosh.
I did not understand. I
We're all
had
in this.
religion as it was presented to me growing up was this: here's life, and then here's all this religious stuff. And that is so not only unchristian, it is anti-Christian, because it's what is Christianity? It is the marriage of the spiritual and the earthy, the heavenly and the earthly. It's the marriage of
the cheese, man.
It's the cheese. Thank you.
Yeah.
It is. Thank you. I love that expression. It's the cheese. It's the earthiness of the cheese. Thank you, Mike, for that. That is something just like,
We all need to hear it.
it is the Jesus is in the cheese.
Yeah.
He's in your cheese. He's in your cheese. He's in my cheese. He's in my love of Rocky.
Yes.
Why do we? Because I've experienced it. I experience it all the time. Why do we not think God is powerful enough to be in these places? Like why does there have to be Christian music and Christian art?
Yeah.
And was he a Christian? What was his Christian intention? It's not what his intention was.
Yeah.
It's what God's intention was.
Yes.
And how are they using the material to reveal himself to me? That opens up, that teaches you how to pray.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
all the time.
Awesome.
Yes. And of course, there's a place for sacred music. There's a distinction to be made.
Of course.
But the very reality of the incarnation is that God has entered this world.
Yeah.
This world. And that means this world has been in some true, mysterious way shot through with the Logos.
Mm-hmm.
The Word was made flesh. And pregnant Mary, as the Catechism says, pregnant Mary is the burning bush of the definitive theophany. Well, what the heck does that mean? Theophany means the revelation of the divine through this world. The revelation of capital B beauty through small b beauty, through the stuff of this world. What was so utterly astounding when I first came across that clip of Bill Conti commenting on where the Rocky music came
I would
from.
have loved to have been in the room when you heard that for the first time.
It was,
He lost his mind.
oh my
lot of
gosh.
tears.
I mean, I was already making those connections in my own heart.
Yeah.
But to hear that I wasn't reading into it somehow.
Not crazy.
I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. Thank you. Bill Conti looked me in the eye through the screen and said, Christopher, I did this for you. What did he say? If you got something special out of this, then it worked. And it's interesting. It's none of your business what I'm thinking about when I'm making music.
Love that reaction. He's like, whoa.
But it's to me it is a death and rebirth. To me, it's a renaissance. To me, it's a death and resurrection. It's these guys fighting and cut me Mick and blood and guts.
What is that?
What? See it.
It's a Paschal mystery.
He had the mystic vision.
He had the mystic vision. And that mystic cheese nun has the mystic vision. And this is what Jesus is inviting all of us to. First, he diagnoses the problem when he says, you look, but you do not see. Mm-hmm. And then he gives us the cure when he says, come, follow me and become one who sees. Mm-hmm. This is the goal. It's that our eyes would be opened and we would see the world this way.
If you can see the world this way, the potential of your joy skyrockets. Or your joy potential skyrockets.
Yes, it does.
As does
the pain.
the pain.
Yes.
As does the pain, because you are opening yourself up to feel. And when I think we shared this in another episode one time, we commented on it. When we don't want to feel the pain, so we shut it down. We shut down our ability to feel the pain. But in that very stroke, we're shutting down our capacity to feel the joy.
Right.
And there are, I know St. Ignatius had the gift of tears. Like he opened himself. Again, it's that expanding your senses to the widest capacity, expanding your ability to feel to the widest capacity. St. Ignatius cried so extensively that his spiritual director ordered him to stop because he thought he was going to go blind. He was just crying all the time. And there are times when, I mean, it's his mercy that we don't always see the world this way, right? I'm not looking at this mug right now and having some mystical experience. Although, if I were more in tune, I could. But there's a mercy also that we don't always feel this stuff, because I would just go around weeping all the time.
We're on the other side of the veil. Yeah.
Right.
It's coming, but
But in order to do this, though, you need silence and self-awareness.
Yes, press into that. It's so important.
Open that
So
window.
important.
Well, I just keep on thinking the opposite side of this is to anesthetize and not allow yourself to feel, like numbing agents, like becoming an addict or silencing. Because this, in order to be vulnerable, it takes an awareness and opening up. And so many of us choose to do what's more of a surface level dopamine kick. Keep it right here in front of me. Don't break this. And, that's kind of where culture's always been. But man, it's really getting, it's really That's coagulating fast.
You kind of get satisfied with your product. What was that? What's that?
Yeah, Louis C.K.
Louis C.K. What's
And
that?
then you die.
And then you die.
And that's why I want to get a smartphone for my kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I go on about this all the time, especially when I'm teaching. But yeah, there is no lacuna moment. There's no pause of quiet. The second we sit down, that stuff starts to well up, and that's what he says, right? That I'm alone.
Yeah.
And I will just instantly fill it.
That's
Dang
what
it,
Arthur. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's just the magic moment.
Juan, bring up the version from the course you can't if we. I don't want to play the. Do you have my PowerPoint from
Louis C.K.?
Yeah.
Louis C.K. hates
Here,
smartphones.
But that's what Arthur Brooks is talking about.
Yeah.
With happiness.
Okay.
And in order to, when he was talking with George Peterson, he's talking about happiness. There's the pleasure, and then enjoyment. And he was saying pleasure is enjoyment with memory. Enjoyment. Is pleasure with memory.
Right.
And association
with persons.
Yeah. And it's like, in order to really reach that level, which requires vulnerability, which the gamble, the ante in the potential loss is a loss of your sense of self, which is a vulnerable place to be. But that requires, we need the silence. We need boredom. We need boredom.
Yeah. I love that bit.
You need to
we think boredom's the enemy. It's the opportunity.
Yes.
You need to be alone with yourself and feel. Louis C.K. says it well. We'll watch this in a minute, but you have to be willing to feel the disquiet of being quiet. Allow quietness to stir and make you aware of your disquietness. If we are not doing that and learning how to be in the quiet, even if it disquiets us, we will never see the world as it really is, because our hearts are distracted and locked up and shut down.
So clearing space intentionally, wasting time.
And what I love about this comedic clip we're about to watch from Kay, who's a crass dude, but learning to pay attention to the musicians, the comedians,
a lot of wisdom,
the poets. They can make us laugh because they're looking at life from just a little bit of a different angle, and they're pointing out things about ourselves that we know are true, but they're doing it in a way I never quite thought of it that way, and it's revelatory. And I edited out a little bit of some of the crassness here, and there's a gesture that he makes to masturbation here that I thought, should I edit that out? Because I show this to our students, and I thought, you know what, he's being honest. Like, masturbation is I don't want to live in my ache.
I don't want to face it.
I don't want to face something. And I want to just relieve myself of this tension and pressure. We're back to sloth. Like, when you feel that sexual desire, it's an invitation to learn what it means to love. Beginning with yourself, loving yourself in the right way, not abusing yourself.
And that gets twisted today.
Self-love. It is so unloving to call that self-love. It's not self-love. It's really self-hatred. What I hate that I'm made for communion, and I hate that I need to love. What I hate is how difficult love is. That's what sloth is. Sloth is the sadness I feel, and it can even become a hatred. It's a sadness I feel because the good, the love, is difficult. So this little reference to masturbation here, bit crass, but it's honest. It's honest.
Thing is, you need to build an ability to just be yourself and not be doing something. That's what the phones are taking away.
Yes.
Is the ability to just sit there like this. That's being a person, right?
Yes.
No one can, you gotta check. because underneath everything in your life, there's that thing, that empty, forever empty. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Yes,
just
I know what you're talking
that
about.
knowledge that it's all for nothing and you're alone. It's down there. And sometimes when things clear away, you're not watching it, you're in your car and you start going, oh no, here it comes that I'm alone. Like it starts to visit on you. Just the sadness.
Yes.
Life is tremendously sad just by being in it. And so you're driving and then you go, that's why we text and drive. I look around, pretty much 100% of people driving are texting.
Yes.
And they're killing, everybody's murdering each other with their cars.
Yes.
But people are willing to risk taking a life and ruining their own because they don't want to be alone for a second, because it's so hard. I was in my car one time and a Bruce Springsteen song comes on. And it made me really sad. It's like Jungle, what's the one, Jungle song?
Jungleland.
This one where he goes, and he sounds far away. It's like,
that's half. Wait, that's half of them.
Yeah, a lot of them.
No, he goes,
Yeah, exactly. And it's really far away sounding.
Yeah.
And I heard it, and it gave me kind of like a fall back to school depression feeling. It made me really sad.
Yeah.
And I go, okay, I'm getting sad. I got to get the phone and write hi to like 50 people. Anyway, I started to get that sad feeling, and I was reaching for the phone, then I said, you know what, don't. Just be sad. Just let the sadness, just stand in the way of it, and let it hit you like a truck. And I let it come, and Bruce, and I just started to feel, oh my God. And I pulled over and I just cried like a bitch. I cried so much. And it was beautiful. It was like this beautiful, it's just this, sadness is poetic. You're lucky to live sad moments. And then I had happy feelings because when you let yourself feel sad,
yes,
your body has like antibodies. It has happiness that comes
rushing in
to meet the sadness. So I was grateful to feel sad, and then I met it with true, profound happiness. It was such a trip, and the thing is, because we don't want that first bit of sad, we push it away with like a little phone for the food, and you get a little kind of, you never feel completely sad or completely happy. You just feel kind of satisfied with your product.
Yes.
And then you die. So that's why I don't want to get a phone from my kids. That's what I'm.
It's brilliant, his insight and his honesty about the human condition. We are so afraid of feeling what he calls that I'm all alone.
Empty forever.
Empty forever, empty. Yeah.
And I just read, I forget who it was, a saint or a philosopher, talking about recognizing the abyss in man. It's meant to be plunged into the abyss of God.
Well,
and that's so good.
What's the word? Copax Dei?
Capax Dei.
Our
Capacity for God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that forever empty.
So no little is going to.
Yeah, ever.
It's a. Dr. Peter Crave says we have a Grand Canyon-sized hole in our hearts, and we're trying to fill it with marbles.
Oof.
Like all the pleasures are marbles in the Grand Canyon.
So what if in that forever empty feeling, we are given the hope that Grand Canyon, that abyss, can be filled, is meant to be filled. Now we have hope that life is not just absurd, that the hunger I feel at the core of my being has a place to go. If that is true, if there is if my poverty is the shape of God's riches, and God's riches are poured out for me, freely offered, given, then I don't need to fear my poverty, and I don't need to shut down my senses. I don't need to reject this world. I don't need to be suspicious towards the things of this world. I need to be discerning, because I'm inclined to try to fill my yearning for God with things that are less than God, and that's what sin is.
Yeah.
But I love here the Catechism's definition of mortal sin. We sin mortally, the Catechism says, when we choose a lesser good. It doesn't say when you choose something inherently evil. It says we sin mortally when we choose a lesser good than God as our final end. The things of this world, are all of them good? God looked at everything he made and said, behold, it is very good. The very nature of evil is to substitute God as the ultimate good. When I don't open my yearning to the ultimate good and I say, I'm going to fill it with that, I'm trying to fill a yearning for the infinite good with a finite good.
You make the little good your God.
And that is in what evil consists. Yeah. It doesn't make that thing inherently evil. It's my substituting of that lesser good for God that is the evil. That changes the way we see the world. The world, we no longer needs to be suspicious of the physical world. And I no longer need to be I need to be discerning, always discerning, because I am inclined in my fallen humanity to choose God's substitutes all the time. But we mustn't blame the good things that God has created for our abuse of them. That's the key point.
Yeah. And to go back to something you said earlier about it's sloth.
Yes.
Or something before that, it's a living. Right?
Right.
Because it's right there.
Right.
And here, Rocky didn't want to go there because he saw the footsteps. It's too much.
Yeah, too much. That's right.
I'll take this.
Yeah.
But the invitation isn't here.
That's right.
The invitation's there. And what he is saying is we can just be fine and then die.
Right.
Or you can actually have the tide roll over into a real encounter with happiness. What do you want? What do you want? It's a choice. And so, I've often, early on when I was younger, I would struggle with, well, but who are you guys to tell me how to live and why? What's don't judge and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, well, I'm not. What I realized as I got older and into my faith was it wasn't a judgment, it was an invitation.
Amen.
That's awesome.
And it's up to me to decide, what do I want?
Which are the very first words of Jesus in the Gospel of John.
Yeah.
My faith.
Not an accusation.
My faith is a response to that question.
Amen.
And so then the challenge of living it out becomes possible from that place. I can look at the temptations in front of me and look right past them, beyond sloth, to the moment when in the fight I'm able to be bloody, put my arms up and say, yo, Adrian, we did it.
Yeah. And Mick is a true coach. When Rocky says, it's a living, he says, it's a waste of life.
Yeah.
Oh. Because we are made for greatness. JP2, one of my favorite quotes, man must reconcile himself with his natural greatness. And that's what the Rocky story is all about.
Right.
And natural greatness.
The natural greatness.
Which, you're rooted, it's real. Don't obsess or idolize it. Just run along it. It's like the yellow brick road. Every little thing. Like, wow, all the way up. And not stagnating, right? But moving forward.
And don't be deterred from
or detoured
from the smell of the cheese.
That's
right.
Amen.
Amen.
Embrace it.
In a certain sense.
There's ecstasy.
It's what is it? Pied du toit. What did he say? God's
feet of God.
Feet of God.
The feet of God.
I want those feet.
Don't be afraid of the fragrance of God's feet. God's feet.
Stop and smell the cheese.
God's feet. It's not some metaphor. He has feet.
True.
And put your oil all over it.
Yeah.
What?
and wipe it down.
What an ending. We're done.
Thanks, guys.
I like the smell of your feet.
Oh, gosh.
All right.
Feel free to skip this ad if you like, but I just wanted to invite you, if you're enjoying what you're hearing here on Word Made Fresh, please subscribe. Please share these episodes with others. Leave some comments. And if you want to continue the journey with us, follow Mike Mangione, Bill Donaghy, and yours truly, Christopher West, on our personal social media. And all of those links are in the description below.